Hey, so a little more in depth about the deck, the Pendulum deck. When you first start out, you're gonna have like these, I believe you're gonna have these three cards just given to you. And these are one. One of them is a link monster that points down. It has 3 arrows that point down, which is really important for pendulum summoning. The other one is another link. It's kind of strong, it's like 26, but it has 1 arrow pointing down, which is kind of important. And the last free card, like everybody gets this, completely free, every player, is this. It's a rank 4. If it destroys a monster, it can attack again. So these should be in the extra deck when you're starting out, because you're not going to have much. By itself, when you buy 3 of the Pendulum structure decks, it's only going to give you, it's going to give you a couple extra deck monsters, but really the only ones that actually do anything is there's Time Star Magician, which is kind of hard to make, because there's only 2 cards in the entire deck that can make him. Or, excuse me, there's only 3 cards in the entire deck that can make him, which are this guy. If you have 2 of these on the field, you can make this guy. So it's like you're not going to be making him that often. And then you have the Synchro, who, like the other guy, he's kind of hard to make because you can only make him if you have the Tuner. The Tuner along with any rank level 4. A tuner, pretty much, you combine them together, a tuner and a non-tuner, and this is the only tuner in the deck. And you make this one synchro guy. But you can't use this tuner with like anybody who's not level 4, or 4 star I should say, because it won't add up. Synchro summoning, maybe it explains in the tutorial, but it's a little like, it's a little more complicated. And then finally, you have this guy, who's pendulum summoning. And like the other ones, he's kind of hard to make, because the only way you can make him is if you have this guy, either on the field or in your hand. And you also need this guy, because he's the only way to fusion summon. So pretty much, the cards in the extra deck, besides this, and this, they're hard to make. This rank 4, you can make it really easily. It's easy to make in this deck. You can make it a lot. This one you can make really easy, and this one you can make really easy. So pretty much, when you get this structure deck, you're only going to have, let me remove these. You're only going to have 3 cards in your extra deck to actually do something, which would seem bad, right? But honestly, when you're opening up random packs, you're going to get random cards. Like I got this one randomly, I got this one randomly, and I got this one randomly. All these cards I can put in the deck, maybe not this one, but all of these cards I can put in the deck, and they actually make the deck stronger in terms of extra deck. As for the main deck, which is like the cards that come in the structure deck, the only 2 cards that don't come in the structure deck are this, which you get from, I believe, the 2nd mission of the tutorial, and this, which you get from the 1st mission of the tutorial. And honestly, you should be playing solo play and like at least get these 2, because this card destroys all monsters your opponent controls, and you get it for free. Like, that's insane. And this one you can special summon from either player's graveyard. So if they have like a blue eyes or something, you can just take their blue eyes, or you can special summon your own monster. But going through card through the main deck, it would be Dragon Pit. The reason you run this guy is because he's a scale 8, and if you don't really know how pendulum summoning works, is you put 2 cards on the field, and then one of the scales, like it's this blue and red thing. One of them needs to be higher, and one of them needs to be lower. That way, any number in between. So if you have a scale 8, like this guy is, and this guy is a scale 2. If both of them are in your pendulum zones, you can pendulum monsters that are level 3 all the way to 7. So pretty much every single monster in your deck. So that's why you run multiple. I run this guy because he lets me do that. I run this guy because when he's summoned, when he's pendulum summoned or special summoned, he can destroy 2 cards. So he can destroy 2 scales, and he can add 2 cards from the deck. And then the reason that's really good is because pendulum cards, when they're destroyed, they go to the extra deck. So usually when a card is destroyed, it's just gone, and you're never going to be able to use it. Pendulum summoning is kind of weird in that if a card dies, it goes to the extra deck, and you can re-summon it next turn. Like it's there forever, unless your opponent like banishes it or something. So they're kind of like, they stick there. Once they're there, they're kind of there. And whenever you have the opportunity to set up your pendulum skills, like on number 8 on one side and number 2 on the other side, you can just bring them back. But the catch is, you can only bring up a certain number. You can usually only bring up 1 into like 1 spot on the field. It's called an extra monster zone. Unless you have links. If you have a link on the field, The link arrows, they point like down and to the right and to the left. You can pendulum summon to those spots. That's extremely powerful because that means if you summon this guy, or even like summon this guy, you can summon one under him, or in this case for Traffic Ghost, you can special summon 3 under him. It's extremely powerful. I'll be showing combos later in the video, but mainly going over the extra deck. I'll start again. It's Dragon Pit, you run 3 of him. Perform a Pal Pendulum Sorcerer, you run 3 of him. Wisdom Eye Magician, you run 3 of him. And this guy, if he's in a scale, you can destroy him, and it's pretty much any card in your deck, you can put it in its scale. This guy's extremely powerful, because he's pretty much any scale. This guy, Perform a Pal Skullbat Joker, is really good, because when he's normal summoned, you get to add a Perform a Pal monster to your hand. Like, it's just like a free add. It's just like really good. I think he can add Magician or Odd Eye. He can add like any card in your deck pretty much and just add it to your hand. He's super good. And then you have 2 of these because they're tuners. The reason it's good is because when it's Pendulum summoned, I believe, you can special summon a level 4 from your deck. Oh no, you can just special summon a Magician from your deck. Like, that's broken. That's a really good effect. And you run Oath Dragon, and you run 3 of these. When he's special summoned, you can target, or when he's normal or special, you can target a Pendulum in your graveyard, and you can add it to your hand. Like, it's really good. And then you got Odd Eyes, who's like a big beater. He's level 7. If he's on the field during the end phase, you can destroy him, and you can add, like, not add any, but you can add almost all of the Pendulums from your deck to your hand. Like, he's just really good. And the reason that's good is because at the end phase, he destroys himself, and he adds a card. The next turn, you can just Pendulum summon him. You can just bring him back. But he's going to be in attack position, and he's going to be really big, really strong, and he's going to be hard to get over. And then I run this guy. You don't have to run this. It comes in a structure deck. He's powerful. He's just like Odd Eyes. He's powerful. That's the reason I put him in. The only reason I run him is because I just put him on the field as a body, as like a card who's really strong and hard to get over. I run 3 Dragon Calling because if it's used for an XYZ summon, so eventually as you just buy packs, because you're gonna eventually just buy packs. You're gonna get rank 7s, rank 4s, and you can throw them into the deck. You're gonna get like rank whatevers. Like, you're also gonna get links. This one in a rank 7 deck, if you get a rank 7 and you put it into the deck, like I have a rank 7 right here. So if I get a rank 7, just randomly, like I got this one randomly, I'll throw it into the deck, and then I make her, or I summon her, and then I make the rank 7. And pretty much what she does is, if the XYZ battles a dragon monster, it has double attack. It's like extremely strong. And then I run this guy, because if any pendulum battles, you special summon this guy from your hand, it can't be destroyed by battle. And also he can like fusion summon. So eventually, if you get some of the fusion Odd Eyes cards, you can just throw them in the deck. Now you can fusion summon. But besides that, it's just a powerful card. That's the reason I'm putting it in. But for a structure deck, this deck is strong, really strong. Probably more stronger than it should be. And then you get the one copy of Raigeki, which you get from free from the first trial mission, I believe. In the solo play, it's like the first tutorial mission. And then this one's the second tutorial mission. And then 3 Pendulum Call. This card, you discard a card, you add 2 Magicians from your deck to your hand, and then your scales cannot be destroyed. But pretty much, first turn you activate this, you discard 1 card, you add Oath Dragon, because Oath Dragon, when he's special summoned, you can add the card you discarded back to your hand, so you don't really lose anything. And then you can add like anything else you want. Usually I add this guy, because this guy can like become any card. And what I do is I set up my Pendulum skills. I destroy Wisdom Eye to like bring out probably like Dragon Pit, because he's a scale 8, which is really good, and destroys spells and traps, so it's like just good to have him on. And I Pendulum summon the Oath Dragon, who's this guy, and I target the card in the graveyard and add it to my hand. And then Duelist Alliance is an extremely powerful card. If I have a card in the Pendulum Zone and I need a card from the deck, this card pretty much adds any card from the deck to the hand. Like not any card, okay, but it adds almost any card. I'm pretty sure you can add You can add any card, any monster card that has Pendulum in it. You can add this guy, which is pretty strong. And I believe you can add Pendulum Sorcerer or this. And Pendulum Sorcerer is broken because he becomes any card. So pretty much this card becomes any card. The reason I run this card is because it adds Odd Eyes. It adds the big monsters. And it also has an additional effect, which I use quite a bit, which is just destroy a card on the field. The last card is this. And the reason I only run one is because you can only have one field spell on the field. Otherwise I'd run 3. Oh, also I should add real quick, if there's any one card that like I would add into the extra deck, and like that doesn't come in a structure deck, it would be this card. It's called Heavy Metal Foes Electrolyte, or Electromite. You can only run one copy because it's so powerful that actually I'm pretty sure this card's banned, but it's so powerful that when it's summoned you get to add a pendulum, any pendulum monster from your deck to the extra deck, which is like, it's kind of good. But what it does is you can target a card that you control, destroy it, add any card in your extra deck to your hand, and then also you draw one card. It's just like, it's super, super, super powerful. And it has skills that point down, which mean once you summon it, you can just pendulum to the zones. It's an extremely powerful card. The only problem, it's an ultra rare. And if you don't know how to craft cards, you go like this. So real quick, I'm gonna go over crafting and how to get cards that you don't own or cards that you may want. So maybe you don't want to play pendulums, and maybe you want to build like a Blue Eyes deck in the background or Exodia deck in the background. How to do that is you look up the card name. So let's say I want to play Blue Eyes, right? I'll look up Blue Eyes. And then I only own one Blue Eyes card, but to show more Blue Eyes card, there's this picture, it shows like a card. You click it, and it shows every card that has Blue Eyes in it, but also that you don't own. So there's a 0. I own 0 copies of all these. So now if I wanted Blue Eyes, at the bottom left, it shows generate. And that's when you use the points at the top, the CP Ultra Rare card points, I believe it's what it's called. And you can create cards. So how do you get CP? Well, you can get them, I think, if you just started out by by creating one card. I think it can be an ultra rare, super rare, common, or a rare. By just creating one card, you complete a mission, and in that mission you get like 50 ultra rare thingies, whatever, ultra rare gems. And with that you can like create any card, or any ultra rare card. But honestly, if you're playing this Pendulum deck, I highly recommend getting good extra deck cards. Whether that be randomly opening up packs and just getting good XYZs, rank 4 XYZs, like this card I randomly got in a pack. I would put him in the deck, and he's like an XYZ Pendulum. I would put him in the deck and then just like summon him when I can. Or even a rank 7, like this is a rank 7. I don't know if I would run this one. I mean, I can make him, but I mean, you just put him in the deck and you just summon him when you can. But since I've opened up a lot of packs, I've gotten like random cards from random packs. Like I got this from a random pack. This card's really good in the deck. And hey, it's called Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. If you don't have this card, don't freak out. You can craft it. You don't need to open up packs and hoping to get this card. You can legit just type in the search bar, and you have to click this thing over here. Normally it shows one card, and when you click it and it shows 2, it shows cards that you don't own also. And you just type in Odd Eyes or whatever card you want. And since I own it, it's right there. But if I didn't own it, it would be down here. And if there's a card I want, like, oh, I want this. It's a rare. I can craft it. It's insane. Any card you want, you can just make it. You don't have to worry about spending a lot of real life money, open up packs and hoping to get this. You can just make a card if you don't have it. The structure deck main deck, like what the structure deck gives you, it's like really good. It's like really, really good. So pretty much all you need to worry about is the extra deck. So I highly recommend somehow getting this card or crafting it. And if you're new and you never crafted a card, I highly recommend crafting a card you maybe want in the extra deck. So one card I would recommend crafting is called, I believe it's called, let me look it up. There we go. Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. It's a rank 7. You can make it in this deck super easy. And it's only rare, so it requires 3 rare tickets. So when you're buying random packs, you can dismantle the cards you don't want, and you can make this, and you can like you can craft this. And once you craft this, if you've never crafted before, you'll get 50 your tickets by going here. Let me save and return. By going to the main menu, and you'll see a thing called missions. When you click the missions, there's a thing that says claim all rewards at once. I can just claim everything. And I believe it's here or in unlimited mission mode where you get the free 50 ultra rare tickets or whatever. Okay, so here I am going to select, you click this and you click change decks, and I'm going to select the deck, the Pendulum one, the one that's completely free to play, the one that if you just buy 3 copies and you play the first 2 solo, what is it called, the first 2 tutorial solo missions, you'll be able to make this deck. 100%. There's no card in this that you should not own. And this is a ranked duel, so I'm going to be playing against people who are like trying to win, and I'll be trying to explain what I'm doing. Alright, let's go. Okay, so I'm going first. I don't get the free card since I'm going first. In the opening hand, there's a lot of options. The most important thing I usually look at is the scales. The scale is that blue and red thing that the card has, and this one has a 2, this one has a 4, and this one has a 2. But luckily, I got this card in my hand, and this card adds, if I put down any one of these cards, so let's say I'm going to put down this, because this has a scale of a 2, which is actually pretty good. I'm going to put her down in my Pendulum scale. I can activate this, and pretty much I can add any Pendulum monster for my deck to my hand. It doesn't show any right now, but I have a lot of options. I can add this guy, and this guy can discard to add 2, which is really powerful. Or I can add this guy. I'm going to add this card, because this card lets me discard and add, which is really, really good. That's what I want to do right now. So I'm going to be discarding this guy, because I don't really need him. The Sorcerer is pretty good, because I want to Pendulum summon him to destroy 2 cards. But sadly, I can't even destroy my own cards, because this card makes it so my cards in my Pendulum zone can't be destroyed. Which is like, it's kind of bad for me, but it's also really good for me, because that means he can't destroy them either during his turn. So I can add 2 cards. I always add Oath, because Oath adds whatever card I discarded back to my hand. And I usually add this guy, because this guy has a scale of an 8, which means I can Pendulum summon. So I'm going to add those 2. And here it can get a little bit confusing, because this has a scale of 2, and the one on my field has a scale of 2 too. So you can mess up easily by using this guy in the field, but you won't be able to Pendulum summon, because it'll be a scale 2 too. Pretty much you have to use this guy, because he's an 8. And the reason that you do that is because you can Pendulum summon any card in between level 7 through level 3. So that's pretty much all the monsters in my hand. And I'm going to activate both the effects. This guy adds a card from my graveyard to my hand. Free card, gimme gimme. And this guy I can destroy 2 cards and add 2 cards from my deck to my hand. I'll destroy this, and I'll destroy this. The reason I'm destroying my 2 monsters is because I get to add 2 monsters. And I can just Pendulum summon next turn. Normally, you wouldn't really do this. I'm just trying to add as much as I can, because like, adding is broken. But normally you wouldn't really do this, because you'd want to keep your monsters on your field to protect yourself. But, I mean, this works too. I'm just like going super plus. Like, I'm gonna have so many cards for free. This card, I normal summon it, and it lets me add, look at this. I can add almost any card. You might be thinking, what do I add? There's so many choices. Well, honestly, since I already have like my scales set up and everything's like good to go, I'll probably add her, because when she's Pendulum summoned, I just get a free monster from the deck. And I'll just end turn. That's it. End on 1 monster. Okay, things are looking pretty good. So first things first, I'm going to be activating this. I think I'm going to activate a Raigeki, because I want to bait out his negate. He has to negate it. If he doesn't negate it, then his monster just dies. And this card can only negate once, so you can only use that effect once. So now I can use this, activate effect. Card I'm going to discard is this. Just because, I mean, it's a big body, I can summon it, but I don't really care about summoning it. So I destroyed one of his cards. I'm going to summon. Activate effect. And there's so many options. I think what I want to add here is probably this guy. Just because he's a big guy. He's the same attack as that one. It's pretty good. Pretty strong. So I'm going to Pendulum summon. 1, 2... Oh, let's see. I can only Pendulum 1. Oh, I thought I could Pendulum all 1. I'll Pendulum summon this guy. And these two. Let's activate both these effects. So I'll activate this one, which lets me special summon from the deck. And this one, which lets me grab a card in my graveyard, add it to my hand. This guy again. So he's going to activate this, which lets him put a card from his deck into the field zone. He's going to banish the 2 cards as Pendulum summoned. I still get my add off, and I still get a free summon for my deck. So there's so many good choices. I think I will go this guy. Okay. Alright, pretty much what I can do right now is I can link, or I can summon this guy. I'm going to summon this guy, but he has an Ultrageist card in his hand, which when he discards, okay, so he can make it discard, and it'll gain attack, which is pretty good. But that's exactly what I want to do, because I want to get rid of that card in his hand, as soon as I can. So right now, I know what he's going to do. I'm going to attack this, he's going to discard a card in his hand, his monster's going to be 3,500 attack, I'm going to take 900 damage, but that's completely fine, because I don't want him to have that card in his hand. Because you could just summon in and do a lot of things next turn. And next turn I could just Pendulum again. So it's like, I'm not really worried. So now he's top decking. Okay, so he set a spell or trap. If I drop... Oh, he surrendered! See? He surrendered. He realized the mistake he made. He shouldn't have discarded there, because next turn he could have just, like, fusion summoned again. But I kind of baited him. I kind of, like, tricked him a little bit. But that was a really basic combo. I hope that helps. Pretty much, I just want to explain that... Yes, it's like the deck can do a lot of things and it can get really confusing, but you're usually always doing the same exact things every time. You're usually putting the same exact cards in your Pendulum zones every single time. It's like really consistent because you have cards that add cards. So usually you're getting the exact same cards on the field or in your Pendulum zones or even in your hand like every time. Oh, also, if you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe if you want to see other videos I'm going to put out. Anyways, later.